Cats. Live from Muscle Cat Studios, it's the Muscle Cat Sports Show with your host, Curtis DuBois.
Hello, everybody on the internet. It is the Muscle Cat Sports Show. I am Curtis DuBois. Almost a false start there, Jimbo.
Almost.
I mean, that's all right. It's live. This is live TV. This is what happens. Thank you, everybody, for joining. And a special thank you to everybody who joined last week for our very first live show. It was right here in Muscle Cat Studios, where we are right now. It's amazing to think that we had almost 200 people watch in the end last week. We had probably... I think by the end of last week's show, 60, 70, 80 people who had watched the live version, and then we had 120 go back and watch the replay, which was just incredible. We were blown away by that. We expected 20 or 30 max, and we got almost 200. So thank you to everybody who has subscribed. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, make sure you do, because it's not just this. We've got the Thursday show, which is behind the bar at the Suburban Brew, where it's like a 15-minute news recap of the sporting week, and then we've got all the shorts and all that other stuff. But this is the jewel in the crown of the Muscle Cat Sports Show, Jimbo. It's the live show. How are we going? You fixed the camera? That's a
Yeah.
Whew, what a start, eh?
A whole bunch more tense live. Just stuff to manage everywhere.
Literally, as soon as we went live, then his camera died.
Camera drops out.
Yeah, but it's back. It's back. And he's looking sharp. You're in extra crisp 4K tonight, it looks like.
That's it.
How are the nerves? I mean, it's already all gone wrong, so I guess the nerves are out the window.
That's it. There's always something new to go wrong each show, even though it's only our second show.
That's right, and that's why we like this, because it's variety. It's always a huge week in sport. There was EPL back on the weekend after the international break. There was some interesting stuff in the Serie A. There's cricket. Of course, we've got the lead up to the Ashes, but the Australian summer started on the weekend it was last night with our first game against, this is meant to be a neutral international show. Our being Australia's victory over India in the first of 3 ODIs. Then we have 5 T20s after that. It was a rain-affected game in Perth. But Jimbo, we'll get to the sport later, but I think we've got an issue.
Ooh, what's that?
I think we've got a rival, or at least a potential copyright infringement, because my wife, Kathy, sent me this. She goes, "Are you aware of the other Muscle Cat media on YouTube?" I said, "No, I'm not." Because we've been figuring out our branding. It was in the infancy of our show and trying to figure out a consistent approach. She said, "Yeah, there's another Muscle Cat." So if you get Muscle Cat media up on YouTube. Now, I don't know whether it will come up because this person hasn't got quite as prominent a following as we do. I'm sure you've Googled Muscle Cat.
Who is this sports genius?
I don't know. Not Muscat. There we go. Yeah, click the top one. There is a space. There we go. There we go. That's the other. That's the other Muscle Cat media. Now I'm just checking because you've been working on this with me.
Yep.
That's not our page, is it?
Not that I'm aware of.
No, the second one's ours.
That's it.
Yeah. She has 1 subscriber. That's not you, is it?
I am keen to get that subscriber, whoever that is.
Yeah. I hope they mistakenly followed her when they were trying to get to Muscle Cat Media, the Muscle Cat Sports Show. But I want to see if she has any content. You can see from the username too, Muscle Cat Media 2698, that clearly...
That's legit.
Yeah, but Muscle Cat Media was obviously taken because we have the other page as well. So she must have gone, oh, damn, Muscle Cat's Media is taken. And I only set that up about a year ago. So this must be a newcomer to the Muscle Cat stage.
Yep.
So let's have a look.
What does she
hang
do?
on. She does have content. Oh, I was going to guess. 4 years ago.
Landscaping 101.
Well, we have to watch a bit of it, don't we?
All right, well, just to be fair, she didn't
Hang on.
wasn't aiming for Muscle Cat Media 4 years ago if she added 2698.
Well, that's weird. Why, if Muscle Cat Media was available, would you go Muscle Cat Media 2698? Unless that's her PIN code and she just needs to remind herself. Wait. Before you click on it,
Yeah.
she's a rival. She has 2 views. We're not going to bump her views up by 50%, are we?
I mean, yeah, true. We should be trying to we'll dislike it.
Poor woman. Go on, click on it. What have we got? Better not play an ad. Okay.
So we are going to add on to this wall that I built last year.
Where was that
This is the
episode?
area.
We're jumping right in the middle of the
Just creating a
series here,
space,
lady.
Creating a nice place to come enjoy at
Why
the
she
end
say
of the day.
All right, you can pause it.
She's been walking around the wall.
Jimbo,
I think we're safe.
I reckon we're safe.
I think we're safe.
We're safe. But to any other copycats out there, I mean, it's copyright. It's a heck of a world. I got banned from Instagram for 3 days inadvertently for either accidentally breaching copyright or accidentally acting like a spam bot because I posted the same video 4 times in 1 minute. So I haven't posted for 3 days on the Muscle Cat page because I have been officially banned. So we are the bad boys of sports media, James.
The bad boys.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's what I've been up to. What have you been doing?
Well, I've been keeping some tabs on sports. Figure I'm not the most caught up person on sports, so I thought I'd I sink my teeth into the stuff that's hot at the moment.
All right. Well, this sounds like a setup because Jimbo is not a particularly sports-minded dude. And like I said last week, he had never produced anything. That's why I got him to produce the sports show. What have you been watching?
I've been I'm sure you're familiar with where we're at in the PKL League. So we're at season 12. We're at the tail end of almost in the semi-finals.
I feel like I should know what the PKL is. I don't know what the PKL is.
You know what the PKL is?
No.
The Pro Kabaddi League.
Is that that weird sport that was on Channel 9 last year? They played it for like 2 nights in a row.
Don't know about weird. It's
pretty weird.
It's only India's second most watched sport.
Behind cricket, I assume.
Well, I assume.
Kabaddi.
Kabaddi. K-A-Baddi.
All right, what is Kabaddi?
Well, I'm torn whether I just tell you or I give you a bit of a glimpse at what it looks like before I then give you the insights.
I'm sure. I mean, this is an international sports show after all. So, actually, our highest viewers on shorts are from India.
True. So this could be the thing that just skyrockets us.
We need to start doing some Kabaddi reels. All right, what do we got?
All right, let me show you a little excerpt of Kabaddi.
शाल भारद्वाज पे टोटस लगाने की कोशिश काफी अंदर जाने की कोशिश लेकिन की शाल शुरू हुई.
Dude, that's chaos.
बाहर 3 points super rate.
Oh, it's got the zoom in on the 3.
पंकज मोहिते ने वापसी करवाई है.
What a play.
Was that good?
That was solid.
Jersey number 44, 22 out.
All right, pause it. What on earth is going on in that clip?
I mean, it's pretty clear. You're not following?
Hang on, can I guess?
Sure, yeah.
So
yeah,
I watched this for about 27 seconds, I think 2 years ago in the summer of 2023 and was utterly confused. Wanted to learn it, but got too confused and turned it off.
Yeah.
They're holding hands as a team and trying to trip dudes. Did he have something in was he holding something when he dove forward?
No, other than the opponent's leg.
Right. I got no idea what's going on in that.
All right, so let me break down Kabaddi for you.
Have you actually been watching this, by the way?
Yeah, I've been trying to keep some tabs on the
thought this
league.
was like a bit where you
No, we're at the tail end of it's getting hot and interesting at the moment in Kabaddi. All right, so the rough breakdown on Kabaddi. So it's like a cross between, best way it feels to me is cross between tag and dodgeball without the ball. So essentially you've got 2 20-minute halves.
Right.
And each team alternates between being the raiders and the defenders. So each team, when it's their turn to raid, has to send a player into raid. And that's where you've got that bulk line in the middle that separates the halves. So essentially you send a raider into the team and they have to, in one breath, chanting the word Kabaddi, go into the second half.
Not really.
Yep, into the defender's court.
So that's like if you're trying to score a goal in soccer, you have to go, soccer!
Basically. But keep exhaling and saying Kabaddi, 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 Kabaddi. So that's why you can hear it playing in the stadium, because they've tried to kind of hype it up, because they obviously say it low to preserve breath and energy. So they have to chant Kabaddi on one exhale.
Sorry, is there a referee monitoring whether they're saying Kabaddi?
There is. I did look it up because this seems very hard to police. And they're like, oh, look, it is definitely like an early day part of the sport thing where they didn't have timers and that was the way of managing the like, hey, you've got as long as you can basically hold your breath. It's
good branding. You'll never forget the name of the sport.
But they've chosen to hang on to it. So if people truly stop the chant or they're impacted by a tackle, it is a foul. But yes, they chant right into the other team. The goal of the raider is to tag as many of the players on the opposing side as possible, but it's only a successful raid if they can make it back to their team.
And so why are they holding hands?
So the goal of the defenders, which you've got 7 aside, when you're raiding, you only send 1 raider, and when you start, you've got 7 players defending.
Yep, your cam's just going, now keep talking, Jimbo, we can hear you.
Here we go. So the intention is basically when the raider goes through, they've got to tag as many people and come out. But they've just found over the years that the defenders, the most successful way to defend is by holding hands to form a link, because basically if you get pushed out of bounds or you get pushed into the outskirts of the boundaries, you're out. So it's a way to both stay in the court on the edges, but it's also a way to form a link to say, like, as the raider's running around, it's just a way to kind of block and tackle them, because the goal of the defenders is to tackle and pin the raider and stop them from getting back to their team.
Right, okay. So it's a glorified sport that you'd play in year 4 in PE.
Basically. So it's essentially tag with tackling.
It does sound pretty sick on paper.
But the cool part is where the dodgeball aspect comes in is,
oh yeah, without the ball.
So obviously I get a point for every player tagged if I make it back. Then if a defender stops the tackle and basically stops them from making their raid, they get a point for the tackle.
Right.
However, for every player tagged by that person, once they successfully get back, they're out. So let's say I tag 2 of the 7.
It is like lunchtime.
Yeah, if I tag 2 of the 7 on the way in, I make it out. They're now down to 5 players to defend next round. However, if they tackle me, they get to bring one of the defenders back in.
Oh, it's like in chess. So when you get the queen pawn to the end, you get the queen back.
Yeah, I'd say it's more like dodgeball in the sense there's multiple players you could redeem. But it's literally like catching a ball in dodgeball. Like you tackle them, you get a player back.
Well, I mean, this is the International Sports Show, so there's more Kabaddi chat coming up. I'm going to try and watch a game of that. How long does the game go for? 2 by 20?
20 and a half, it's like 40 minutes.
All right, sweet. I didn't have enough sport in my life, so now I've got Kabaddi. You figure out your camera there, Jimbo. We've got plenty of sport to talk, and this is, of course, an interactive show. So there is a link in the description of this video. Click into that. We had plenty of guys call up last week. We want more people to call up tonight and talk to us. It's as simple as that. It's like an easy Zoom. You just press it. You don't have to log in or anything. Just the video comes up and you'll get put in the waiting room, and Jimbo will let you on when we're through. Now, where do we start? Let's start in the world of football, because anybody who keeps loose tabs on sport, especially Australians, will have known that Ange Postecoglou got sacked on the weekend. In fact, he got sacked while he was still at the ground. He was probably not even out of the shower, probably not even in the shower if he has a shower post-game. I don't know what Ange is up to. 39 days he was at Nottingham Forest. They lost 3-0 to Chelsea, and he's gone. 39 days. The owner of the club, who is a very temperamental man, Jimbo, he sacked their previous manager after 3 games this year, of which they won one of them because they had a difference of opinion. So he got rid of Santo. He was gone. Santo, not Santa. You looked up at me weird then.
I was questioning it.
Then he hired Postecoglou, and after 39 days, he's gone. That's the shortest tenure of any, second shortest tenure of any manager in English football history. The shortest was Sam Allardyce when he was at Leeds. The interesting thing there is that Sam Allardyce is also the shortest tenured English national team manager. So not only does he have the shortest time at a club, he has the shortest time as manager of England. Now, there was some controversy where a tabloid busted him talking about how to get around FA regulations. I felt a little sorry for Big Sam. He's a much-loved figure in the dour world of English football, but he holds the undesirable record for both club and country. But Ange is gone now. He didn't win a game. He had 8 games in charge there. They drew 2. They lost 6. So look, not a good record, but 39 days. What do you expect this man to do? It was a pretty incredible weekend in the EPL. Man United surprisingly beat Liverpool. And yes, if you haven't been following football for a while, it is a surprise now when Man United beats Liverpool. Liverpool were the champions last year, of course, and Man United are a shell of what they were in the late 90s, early 2000s, even the 2010s. They're not that club anymore. They've been struggling for years. They won back-to-back. They've won back-to-back Premier League games now, which is a feat for the Red Devils these days. But they won 2-1 at Anfield, the first time they'd won in Anfield since 2016. So that was huge. Mbeumo scored. Maguire scored, and Liverpool have lost 3 league games in a row. There's plenty of other stuff going on. Jimbo says we've got 3 callers on the line. So we're going to go straight into the callers now. Who have we got first up, Jimbo?
First up, we have Sam on the line.
Ah, Sam. Now, I know. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Good, yourself?
Very well, very well. Now, I know you very well, Sammy, and this is about one of 2 things I'm going to guess. Either cricket with the Ashes coming up and a win over India last night, or I think it might be this one. Your New York Giants.
Well, first of all, I just wanted to touch on the Zimbabwe-Afghanistan test match that's just got underway. I thought you'd be interested to hear what's going on there.
Please, I forgot to bring that one up tonight.
Yes. So Zimbabwe sent Afghanistan in. Afghanistan is currently 3 for 99. So they're off to a pretty good start, 20 overs. So.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. Very good. Thanks, Sammy.
Yeah, just a one-off test, though. I mean, I think it should be at least a 3 or a 5 test series rather than just one.
Yeah, and both teams have their full test status these days, Sammy? Are they still battling in and out?
They do.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's good. They might take a license off the West Indies.
Definitely on their full test status. So, yeah. So just waiting for the day that Australia plays one of them.
Hopefully Ashes Mark II. We're going to have 5 tests against Afghanistan here. That'd be great. Now, come on. I know you want to talk about the Giants. Get it off your chest. It was
yes.
for the do you want me to give the context to the people, Sammy?
I have. Yeah. So long-suffering Giants fan. I haven't seen any of the highlights because I was working this morning. But yeah, I don't think you could have a more devastating loss than that, could you? From the position they were in, like dominating for 3 quarters, and then some miraculous quarter from how they lose that. I don't know. I mean, I know Dos is salivating over going to be talking about it in the morning. He posted that very offensive social media post, tag a Giants fan.
Yep.
So I know he's got all the play calling really to analyse, but really disappointing. Also, the Cowboys lost in overtime earlier in the year.
Yep.
And so they could be 4-3, but instead they're languishing at 2-5 down the bottom of the table there, so division. So yeah, like all the positivity with Jackson and Hawley's mate, what's his name?
Oh, Scatterboo. Yeah. The human marble.
That's it. Yeah. So, but there's positive signs, but still, after all that, they're still 2-5. So very frustrating.
Yeah, and for those who didn't see it in the NFL this morning, it was a 19-0 lead for the Giants in Denver. Denver are a pretty good team. Giants have struggled the last couple of years. New quarterback, new running back. Defense is looking good. 19-0. Sammy and all of his friends were thinking, beautiful, here's a win. We're going to go 3-4. And they won last week as well, so looking good. They conceded 33 points and 297 yards of offense in the last quarter. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen at all. There are teams that don't go 3 weeks scoring that many points accumulative, let alone in one quarter. So it started with a couple of small errors. You know, they miss a kick here, they throw an interception there, and it just snowballs, Sammy. And they're such a hard team to know where they're at because there's been those green shoots with Jackson Dart and all that sort of thing. Brian Daboll, you think, is finally starting to get this team together. And if they win today, like you say, they go 3-4, and that's a respectable season. But to have that quarter, I mean, we've got the shelf of shame behind us here. That game by itself is shelf of shame worthy. Well, they might. But how do you assess that team? Like, where does the improvement come from if you can't close those games out?
I don't know. Well, they've got the Eagles next up. They seem to play the Eagles twice in 3 weeks every year.
They cram them together.
Yeah, so that's in Philly this time. They did beat the Eagles a couple of weeks ago. So, you guys were talking about the Eagles last week, saying, are they in trouble themselves or what's going on there? So hopefully we can repeat the dose against the Eagles and get back on track. But, as I said, very frustrating so far. So
can imagine.
It sort of capped off a disappointing morning because our Tottenham Hotspur went down, of course, to Villa as well. So
if I look a little tired, it's because I stayed up to watch
they just can't quite take the next step either.
No, they can't, Sammy. I've got my Tottenham scarf in the background there over the left shoulder. Yep. It was a one. Well, we
thought playing at home against Villa.
Sorry, Sam, we've got a bit of a delay, but it was a 1-0 lead to Spurs, and then in true Spurs fashion, when the season looks like it's on track, it was a 2-1 loss at home. Buendia scores an absolute cracker on his left. I switched off at 1:10 a.m. That's when they scored the second goal because I knew we weren't coming back into that. So, Sammy, look, thanks for calling the show. Hang in there, mate. It's not easy being a Spurs fan. It's certainly not easy being a Giants fan. At least the Redbacks won a title last year. That's good. We beat the Indians in the cricket, so that's good.
They won today. They won the one day. Got the bonus point.
All right, so it's not all bad. It's 50% good. And, of course, Sammy is a regular listener, and we thank him on his way out. He's a listener to the Outback Quarterback podcast, which is our NFL show here on the Musclecat Media Network. We record that tomorrow. It's a big 12 hours, Jimbo, because we record this at 8 live and we record the Outback QB at 7 a.m. tomorrow. So you should just sleep on the couch here.
I'm definitely sleeping here.
Yeah, let Joe know. All right, who else have we got in the room?
All right, next we have Paul. Paul from Adelaide. I believe he wants to talk about some golf.
Paul, let's do it.
Hey, mate, how's things?
Very well, Paul. How are you?
Not too bad. Wanted to get your opinion on LIV for 2027, mate. It's going to Kionga. What are your thoughts?
LIV Golf, yeah. I think it's interesting. I haven't played QE. I haven't had the privilege of playing that myself. Chris Hall, who I do the Outback QB podcast with, is a member of Kionga. James and I have been to LIV Golf at Grange, and that was good. It was a great event. I think it helps having the 2 full courses there. But yeah, it's going to Kionga for the 1 year, and then North Adelaide after that. Is that correct, Paul?
Yeah, that's correct. Then it's locked up till 2031 down at North Adelaide. But yeah, to Kionga next year.
What,
Yeah,
what do you
2027. Yeah.
what do you think? Have you got an opinion on Kui? Not suitable or suitable?
Well,
If I'm not mistaken, Paul, I believe you've played Kui as well.
yeah, I've done a couple of laps around that track.
Are you a member?
Oh, God,
Wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
I know people that let me on the course. So I played both Grange and Kionga, and I have, as a spectator, walked both Grange and Kionga when we had the Women's Open here.
Oh, yeah.
My only problem is that essentially Grange is 36 holes. Kionga's only 18.
Yep.
So if you look at it like square footage, I looked it up before that Grange is 110 hectares. Kionga's like 60 hectares.
Yep.
Like outside of the actual golf, the holes themselves, like I don't see any room for the stages, the hospitality. When I walked at the Women's Open, there were still holes that were super tight. And
Really?
yeah, and LIV's going to have so much more hospitality than the Women's Open.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then when playing
I
at
don't know,
Grange,
man.
there was wide open fairways to walk through, nothing but space. But yeah, if it's only an 18-hole course, feels like it's going to be tight. Was there big crowds at the women's?
So the women's, I think Kionga was the last year we had it here before, because that was the year before COVID. I think they had 30,000 for the whole event. So it was a big turnout spread over the whole like tournament. But I think the last LIV down at Grange had 30,000 a day. Now, granted, a large percentage of them were there for the concert and stuff, but still, that's a big step up for Kionga to go from 30,000 over 4 days to 30,000 a day.
Yeah, it is. So we went to the very first day of LIV in Adelaide, the first day, the Friday, and that was pretty busy. The access was incredible. I couldn't believe how close you could get to the world's best golfers. Like Dustin Johnson was 6 meters from me. I was standing behind guys playing their shot. I expected them to say, "Can you move, mate?" And they're like, "No, it's fine. They swing it over the trees without any concern about where we are." It was a great event to go to. I know the crowds have almost doubled since then, and it's chaos. But it's a good point you make about 36 holes, because North Adelaide, of course, is 36 holes as well. For our non-South Australian viewers, there's a north course and a south course, and that's going to be a huge redevelopment that the Labor government has committed to here, which is cool. Party Pete wants another event here for 5 more years, so awesome. But yeah, maybe it will be tight in Kui. The other thing I wonder about too is there were a lot of unhappy Grange members, right, with the infrastructure and the happy Gilmore fans of golf, not the real golf fans, coming for this event that's not as respected perhaps as PGA Australia or the PGA Tour. How does the Kionga crowd adapt to it? Because that's not a cheap place to sign up to.
Well, from what I've been told, that the guys down at Grange, there was a vocal minority that didn't like it, the old fuddy-duddies of the club.
The suits.
But apparently it came down to the commercial arrangements of actually having LIV at the club. I think.
Oh yeah.
Golf Digest put out an article last week saying, and I think they got a quote from someone at the club, and I think the quote was, "We're not a charity. We don't do this stuff for free." So it must have been a fairly raw deal for Grange to turn away from that. Because,
Grange said no because they weren't getting enough.
Yeah.
So that's right.
So whilst they there was probably a strong vocal minority that weren't happy with it, because I think the lead up, like 2 months out, the course starts getting rearranged, and you know, the old guys that are out there playing every day, their Wednesday afternoon game gets moved around. But by and large, like a lot of the guys at the club were very for it, kind of thing. I think it came down to the commercial arrangement more than anything.
Well, you can understand if guys are annoyed. I mean, they do pay what, eight grand a year to play at Grange, and upwards of that at Kionga. Is that right?
Yeah, probably a little bit more for Kionga, but about that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, looking forward to that with interest. The redevelopment of North Adelaide, whilst it's cool in concept, it does make me a bit nervous. Will we get it done in time in just a few years? It would be amazing if they keep it public. They've promised to do that, so who knows? But yeah, we'll see. Just before we let you go, Paul, what's your handicap? Do you have one, or do you just play casually? And by the way, I hit 117 last week, so don't worry about any judgment.
Don't worry about it. I won't fact check. I won't fact check yet.
I play for 22.
22. Okay, that's respectable. That's respectable. And a respectable call into the show. Thanks, Paul, for watching, mate. We appreciate you dialing in. All right, have we got another one in the room, Jimbo?
We do. We've got next up. We got Jack.
Jack, as you fix your cam, are you just going to go to the webcam, Jim?
Yeah.
All right. We want your pretty face back on the screen.
That's it. Next up, we got Jack coming
Jack.
in.
All right, Jack. Hey, Jackie Grant. Oh, sorry for saying your full name. I hope that doesn't.
Nah, it's fine. I think that's my display name anyway.
Sweet. How are you, man? What's going on?
Yeah. Look, I've been better. I mean, today kind of sucked, but
Another loss for the New Orleans Saints.
oh, look at this point. March for Arch. Even though he looks like, I'm not to swear, he doesn't look great either. So.
Yeah, I'll just explain. I'll explain the March for Arch. Arch Manning is the projected number 1 pick in the NFL draft next year. Quarterback, the famous Manning name, of course, Peyton, Eli. He's part of that clan. So that's what the teams that are struggling, like the poor old Saints, are trying to do, right? Get that guy in the building. But even he doesn't look like a savior for the team.
No, he doesn't. Well, his granddad Archie Manning, I think it's Archie Manning, played for the Saints back when they were the Aints, and we're back there now. So who knows in the future? But it's not actually the Saints I wanted to talk about today.
Okay.
It's a bit of a different topic. It's related to sports still, but I was thinking of the growing culture around gambling and sports, and I didn't know if you wanted to touch on that or not. But I think I might be a minority here, but I think it's kind of it's almost concerning to me. I go to TAFE with a lot of young fellas, 18, 19, and you speak to them. Did you watch? I went and watched the soccer on Saturday, Western Sydney Wanderers versus Melbourne City.
Yep.
They're going, oh yeah, I had a multi on it, lost, and you're going, yeah, right. It seems more and more people around my age can't just enjoy the sport, and gambling seems to be seeping into all of it. And I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think it's been too normalized.
It's a good call. It's an interesting topic. I have never placed a bet on any sport in my life. I've never had an account. I don't place bets. I've just got no interest in doing it. I know I'm definitely in the minority there. Like you say, guys my age, your age, younger, older, but particularly around that, I think mid-20s to mid-30s, I think a lot of guys are all consumed by it, and we see that it is a problem for some in that they can't escape it, right? For me, and this, I don't know whether this sounds lame or like I'm trying to paint myself as a purist, I just love watching sport. I love the emotion that goes with it. I love the drama around it, but I also like being able to disconnect myself from the outcome, right? I love the NFL. I go for the Chiefs, but if they lose, I'm not shattered by it. I move on and watch whatever is next because I just love it. I feel personally, if I was to gamble on those sports, that would add a jeopardy that I don't really want. I don't want my money tied to my hobby. Like I don't want that risk of losing that when I just sit down to relax. I don't want to think that I could lose $300 because I've made a stupid bet on Patrick Mahomes. Like it doesn't seem fun to me. I know a lot of guys say it is fun and that's cool. They can do what they want, but I've never been interested in it, and I do. It does seem a real problem. I'm not necessarily. I don't know where I stand on the gambling ads. Like it's a lot of people are upset about that and think that that's a stain on society and obviously influences guys to gamble. I don't know where I sit on that morally, but I've never had an interest in betting, and I think a lot of dudes are all consumed by it. One more thing before I throw back to you. I think your conversation that you had with your mates is an important one in that it's reflective of so many guys on how they talk about sport. You ask them, did you see the game? And the first thing they talk about is the gambling outcome and the money they lost. Respectfully, guys, we don't care if you lost money on betting. We don't care. It's like we don't care about your fantasy team outside of you just telling us if you won or lost. No one cares about your fantasy team. No one cares if you won or lost money on gambling on sport. It's just not interesting to anybody but yourself. Is that a fair call?
No, I completely agree with you. But I'm going to talk about my fantasy team, 150 this week.
Really? Okay, I do care about your fantasy team.
153. I dropped 153.
Nice,
I traded
man.
for Jamar Chase, and he's been going crazy.
Now
But,
imagine
no,
how much
I
better
think-
that would have been if you had some money on it, Jack.
Yeah. Oh, no, look, I do enjoy having a punt here and there, but a lot of people seem to think of sport and go, I'm going to put a multi on this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, when it seems like the love for just sport is slowly dying. And I think a lot of it as well is gambling ads. Because I'm only 21, but I remember, before I was legally allowed to gamble, I'm watching the NRL and there's ads for sports bet saying, place the same game multi, and you go, Oh, that seems cool. You turn 18, you place a bet, and then you go, oh, well, all right, why did I do that? And I think I'm sort of lucky, I do enjoy it here and there, but some people, it's the only reason they'll watch the sport. I watch a lot of NRL. I love the NFL, obviously, basketball when it's on. But you talk to a lot of people, and it's, I watched that game. I had a bet. I turned it off at halftime, and you go, "Where's?" I sound like like an old fellow
Nah,
almost, but where's
dude,
the
I like
love
it.
for their game going?
Yeah. Well,
I feel like we're moving away from loving it for the game and love it and starting to love it for what it can do for you.
yeah, it's. I think you've summed it up better than I possibly could there, Jack. It's a good call. Maybe I don't have a strong opinion on the advertising of it because I've never been in it, right? I've never done it, so it hasn't affected me. And also, I mean, I'm 14 years older than you. I didn't grow up with ads as prolifically as that for gambling in sports. So for the young dudes, I'm sure it is a problem. It's a good call, man. We got 3 other people on the line, so we're going to move on. But thanks so much for ringing in.
Thanks again for having me, guys.
Good
See
on
you
you,
next
mate.
week.
You're a legend. Who have we got, Jimbo? An absolutely packed waiting room.
We do indeed. Next up, we got Noah Hill calling in.
Noah, long-time listener of the Outback Quarterback podcast. Here he is. How are you, dude?
Hey, how you going?
Very well. Where are you? You're not the Suburban Brew again, are you? You haven't flown down for another visit.
No, I wish. I'm going to miss the quarterback Super Bowl show this year.
Now, I need to tell the listeners, I mean, that's a personal tragedy because Noah was the only person who, for our very first live showing of the Super Bowl last year, flew down. He flew internationally from where in New South Wales?
Internationally?
Oh, sorry,
Whoa.
nationally.
Coffs Harbour.
From Coffs Harbour, yes. Sorry,
Yeah,
it's been a
northern
long
New
day. I
South
was up late
Wales.
watching Tottenham. That's why I'm making a few mistakes. From Coffs Harbour, you're going to miss it this year, but you've made up for it by calling in. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah. The motorbikes.
Moto
Australian
GP.
Grand Prix.
Go for it.
Yeah. Well, obviously it's our home Grand Prix. Arguably one of the best tracks of the year for the motorbikes. Everyone loves it. All the riders love it. And we had Australians in every single category going absolutely off. We had Joel Kelso in Moto 3. What did he get? He got second in qualifying, third in qualifying, second in the race. And then we had Senna Aegis in Moto 2, who, stunned it. He had an awesome race. Absolutely cleared the pack, maiden win on home soil.
Yep.
Little Wollongong kid just nailed it.
So
And then
good.
we had Jack Miller in the Premier class, who topped FP1.
Yep.
So that's the first time that's happened since Casey Stoner in 2012 or something like that.
Yep.
Then he got P3 on the grid, which is also the first time that's happened since Casey Stoner in 2012.
Yep.
Had a great first race on Saturday, got fourth, almost on the podium, and then binned it on the Sunday. So that was a bummer. But just to see Aussies nailing it in MotoGP when it's such a, not even just Euro-dominated sport, it's the Spanish. The Spanish dominate motorcycles in all classes across everything. To have the Aussies show up on Aussie soil, it was just something real special.
It's good perspective, Noah, because for a casual fan of MotoGP, and I love motorsport, but I'm casual when it comes to MotoGP, if we don't see the Aussie won the main race, the number 1 category, MotoGP, we think the Aussies had a bad weekend. If we don't see Casey Stoner or Mick Doohan or Wayne Gardner win the championship, then we go, we're bad.
We didn't do anything.
That's
No,
right. But you're right. We did have a win in Moto 2. We, as you just said, went well in Moto 3. It was a shame with Jack Miller, our one Aussie boy on the grid in the main race. Correct me if I'm wrong. Since he's gone to Yamaha, he hasn't had the seasons that he used to. Was his success at Ducati in 2020, 21?
Definitely at Ducati. Factory Ducati was, that's the seat of seats the past 5, 6, 7 years.
Yep.
That's the one that you're going to win it. That's like being on, the Kansas City Chiefs last year, 2 years ago. But that's
Gotcha.
the spot.
Gotcha.
And then he moved to KTM, did good, didn't get a win, and then moved to Yamaha, who's arguably the slowest manufacturer at the moment. they're the last team holding onto an inline 4 motorcycle. Everyone else has moved on to V4s, which is just a functionally better frame.
Yep.
It's just more well-rounded. They'll be on that next year, so maybe we'll see that.
Okay.
But yeah, so he hasn't had incredible results, but they've kept him on for next year because of his ability to develop the bike. His feel
Because
with
he's
it all, and
experienced, right? He's like an
his
experienced F1 driver.
Exactly. His
Yeah.
experience, his feedback, everything is invaluable. So his teammate next year is actually going to be a rookie, but from World Superbikes. Toprak Razgalioku,
Whoa.
3-time Superbike World Championship.
That's a name. Yep.
Turkish, yeah. He actually just wrapped up his 3rd Superbike Championship last night over in Spain. So polished off his career there, moving over to Yamaha as a technical rookie. You know, he's not like a 21-year-old rookie. He's very experienced, but completely different machinery. So Jack will be that sort of guiding light, sort of knows the bike, knows how it works. We'll get them all up and running.
One very quick question for you before I let you go. Formula One, you can argue that you may not be an F1 fan, but the car is more important than the driver in many cases. You know, you could say perhaps it's 80% of your success, depending on what car you're in. Max Verstappen can't win in the worst car on the grid. He can win in more than others can, though.
Yes.
How important is it in MotoGP? Is it exactly the same? Are there teams that are just as dominant as Red Bull have been, as Mercedes were back in the day, or is it not as important in MotoGP?
I would personally argue it's not as important. The best bike will still get you there a hell of a lot easier.
Yep.
But it's not as important. The rider's talent will overcome a bad bike, but you can only outride so much.
Gotcha.
But that is another good thing about Phillip Island. They call it one of the great equalizers. That's why we had an Aprilia win with a satellite Aprilia, so like a second grade Aprilia team won the race. That track itself, the way it's laid out, is it equalizes everything and it gives the riders a chance to truly show their talent. I don't think there's a circuit or a circumstance in Formula One where you get that experience. But MotoGP, you definitely get to see the riders actually perform a hell of a lot more.
Love it. Good answer. Thanks, Noah. We didn't expect MotoGP chat in such expert detail, but I love that. We'll speak to you soon, mate. I know you'll listen to the Outback Quarterback tomorrow. Just for a bit of context on the MotoGP Spanish dominance, Marc Marquez, who is Spanish, just wrapped up his 7th World Championship, and he did that a few weeks ago with about 7 races to go. So 7 titles, and he did it with a long way left in the championship. And then yesterday, a guy by the name of Raul Fernandez won his... Hang on, let me just double check that I got that name right. Yes, Raul Fernandez won his first race in his 3rd season. So Spaniards, they can ride, those boys. We have got...
Next up, we got...
Oh, we got more. I was going to talk about other stuff.
No, we've got more in the waiting room.
Gee whiz.
All right, next up, we've got Bren calling in.
I know this guy. Hello, Bren. How are you?
Hey, Kurt. How you doing?
I'm well. I think I know what you're calling about tonight. Is this about amateur summer league hockey in South Australia?
Yeah. You wanted an update on my very professional hockey league.
I did, because you play, yes, amateur ice hockey, which would raise a few eyebrows already. A lot of people wouldn't know that there's an amateur way to play ice hockey here, but also to make it even harder on the sport with the highest barrier to entry ever, in that you can't use your feet. You have to skate on ice. You had a year off. And at our age and above, that can't be easy.
The normal season gap is long enough. You forget most of your skill just in half a year. So taking what is essentially a year and a half off makes a big difference.
How did you have your first game of the weekend?
No, I had my first game a couple of weeks ago. This was the second game, but it felt like a first game. Performance was much worse yesterday than it was on the first game. I think I fluked the first game.
And tell everyone about your team. You've had a successful team, the Huskies, right?
Yeah, they've won the final twice. Last year I wasn't playing for them when they won it, but the year before I was, and yeah, that was the first cup for the Huskies.
And Game 2
The
back.
cup that we got, we had to borrow from the league above because our league technically didn't have its own cup. So the photo of the cup that you see, it's not
your
actually our
cup. Really?
No.
Wow. I mean, we've used the word amateur about 7 times. There are a few tales from the ice arena of, can I say mismanagement without annoying too many people? Tell us about the schedule of the finals a few years ago.
I think it was game 3 for Division 2.
The decider.
The decider, yeah. They were hoping it didn't get to that point. I think they wanted to wrap it up quicker because
Get
game
'em
3 was scheduled for, I think, 1 a.m. on a Thursday.
Prime
So they were
time.
hoping to draw the big crowds.
Mate, 1 a.m. on a Thursday is impossible for people who play professionally in that it's all they do.
I think
Yeah.
that's when
You guys-
the ice is the coldest.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I've seen teams in the playoffs annoyed that they won a game, meaning they would have to come back. They would rather have lost the game and not come back. They were annoyed to win and come back the next day because of the schedule.
It's in your hands, guys. Like, sort it out.
Yeah.
1 a.m. Did you play that game or did it not get to that?
No, I didn't get to that, thankfully. I don't think I was in that
1 a.m.
division. I think that was the other division. I would not be surprised if they deliberately lost or won or did whatever they had to not make that happen.
Yeah, that's extraordinary. I remember, I was at an adrenaline game. You might have been at the same game. Was it an adrenaline game where there was a hole in the ice and the opposition goaltender had to fix it?
No, it was one of the biggest games of the year, and it was a big draw card event. You know, come to the ice arena and check out what South Australian ice hockey is all about. And I think it was in the halfway through the second period, one of the decals under the ice peeled up, and there was like a piece of canvas or whatever it is they print the decals on sticking out of the ice. And yeah, the goalie from the visiting team was trying to just freeze it with some carbon dioxide, get it stuck back under the ice. And they decided, no, they couldn't do it, so they just canceled the game. That was it.
And that was the professional league, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was the Australian Ice Hockey League.
These guys have been flown down to play. Sorry, guys, this is the corner of the decal. We got to stop.
That's another thing I just don't understand. So I travel a bit for my other job, and I reckon 3 times in the last 12, 18 months, I have been on the same plane as the Adelaide, is it Adrenaline, the ice hockey team?
Yeah.
Every time I look at them and I go, there's 30 dudes on this flight. This is tens of thousands of dollars just this trip. Where is the money coming from for Australian ice hockey? I don't. Who's funding this? How are these teams surviving?
Yeah, I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy. No one's funded my stuff. I think we are funding their league.
Oh, right.
Based on the season fees.
Gotcha. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, after your 1 a.m. game, you then have to work the night shift at the arena from 4 a.m. till 8 a.m. Is that right?
Yeah, the losing team has to wash the dishes
and stick the decals back down on the ice.
That's right, yeah.
So, before we let you go, are you 2 wins from 2 for the Huskies so far this year?
No, we lost last night.
Oh, you lost. You're 1-1. Okay, chances of making the finals?
Oh, there's 6 teams and 4 spots in the finals, so
66%.
Pretty good. Statistically
Awesome.
Pretty good.
I like these updates. I think, Jim, we're going to get some more amateur ice hockey updates throughout the year. Thanks for joining, Brent. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks. See ya.
See ya. It's a shoddy operation down there, I got to say. It was taken over. It was taken over by, not Perrick, was it Perrick? No. I got to check the facts on who took over, but there was...
Changed hands.
Yeah, it changed hands recently with promises of fixing things and, better conditions and all sorts of stuff. And then the first game back, Brendan sends me, he sends me a video saying, good to see they've cleaned it up over the off-season, and there's just a rat running around on the floor. Oh, the ice arena. Get down. They used to have a toboggan run there, and that got taken away. We used to toboggan there together, didn't we, Jim?
Yeah, I know many people. I think even my father-in-law, many injuries took place tobogganing.
That was
just a lawsuit waiting to happen.
It was a lawsuit waiting to happen. I can
That's it.
see why they shut that down, but damn, that was fun.
That's it. All right, next caller. We've got Adam Lambert.
Oh, he's back. And he's in his Packers gear again. Here we go. What's going on, Adam?
It's Packers Monday.
It is. Now you've had a win. You've had a win, so you're
Yes.
happy. Is that what you want to talk about?
Yeah, I do. It was a nerve-wracking game to watch, but actually I finished the game really positive that we didn't sort of crumble under pressure the way you could have expected it to.
Yep.
I think there was some really good takeaways. Like Micah Parsons was just a machine. Like 3 sacks, something like, if I use Hawley's stats, 450 pressures.
Yep.
So, and then of course our stand-in kicker Lucas Harvesy, who 2 or 3 weeks ago was about to be a like a standby teacher or something. Just kicked the longest field goal in Packers history at 61 yards.
Yep.
That's cool.
It's yes, it is cool. I'm not trying to rain on your parade because I like the Packers.
Yeah.
But you've sort of fallen over the line a little. You're 4-1-1, and it's not a convincing 4-1-1. Today, you would have thought there would have been a better performance. Of course, you got beaten by the Browns a few weeks ago. There was the tie against the Cowboys in overtime, which I don't know how you guys escaped with a tie out of that, but you did.
Yeah.
To me, it's not really a 4.5 win season so far. It's more of a 2.5 to 3 win season, but it's somehow happening. So, as a fan, do you look at that and go, this is a good sign because they're close games, we're not playing our best, but we're still winning? Or is it a concern because you think you're on a knife's edge and the house of cards could collapse at any moment?
No, I don't know. I'm very much a glass half full kind of guy.
You do seem very positive.
Yes, games like this though, I think are a big learning curve. Like the Packers have got to go back and go, listen, we have lots to get better on, but we're still positive that we can pull some cards out of our sleeve when we need to.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's good. Like every part of our game is good. We just don't parcel it together very well. Sort of, it's not as like if you look at what our game versus the Lions, like if we played consistently like that, now we would be 6-0. But
yep. 100%.
Yeah.
Well, today, I mean, you talk about pieces. Today was the day that the piece you paid a lot for, Micah Parsons, the superstar pass rusher, had to come through. And like you said, he did. It was the first time in his career he's had 3 sacks.
Yes.
He was putting pressure on Jacoby Brissett when when there was, sorry, was it Brissett starting today?
Yes.
Yes, it was Brissett. Sorry, I transported back to 2013 in my mind then. I thought, is Jacoby Brissett actually really starting still in 2025? But there was pressures left, right, and centre. So these are the games when you need your superstar to stand up, and he did do that. How are your chances for the Super Bowl before we let you go, Adam? Are you still thinking you're a realistic chance?
Yeah, I'm all for it. Absolutely.
I mean, of course,
So,
you're
yeah,
never going to answer that any other way, were you? Look at your chain.
No, it's going to be a hard slog.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hard slog, but I think we are definitely playoff worthy team. And if we get all our pieces together, we could beat anyone in the league.
I like that. The Packers, they're always interesting to watch. There's never a shortage of drama, whether they're good, bad, or ugly. Thanks, Adam. We love your calls, mate. Appreciate you dialing in for 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row. Him and Jack, they're our number 1 ticket holders. Good on you, mate.
And I agree with Jack over the whole gambling thing. I'm not a fan. I think it takes away from the value of the sport.
It's a good call. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. It was a good chat with Jack earlier on, for those who didn't catch it. All right, Jimbo. Thanks again to Adam. Who have we got? We still got more?
Yeah, we got one more in the room. We've got Jake looking to talk baseball.
Is this Jacob from the wonderful state of Victoria? We can't see anything.
Mate.
Oh, we can
Kurt,
hear
how are you, mate? You got me?
Got you, mate. What's going on?
Not much, mate. Just it's that time of the year, October. I keep an eye on baseball, but it goes for that damn long. It's 162 games regular season, so you just got to. I'm in and out during the season, but come October when the playoffs start, it's pretty amazing. The atmosphere is incredible. But I just think we need to take a moment to understand the greatness that is Shohei Ohtani at the moment from the Dodgers. If you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor, find a package where it shows you what he did yesterday or the day before, but it was unbelievable. Not only did he pitch 6 innings, no runs given, I think he had 2 hits, but he struck out 10. That's a pretty good game for a pitcher in any game in a playoff series.
Yep.
He then went and batted and hit 3 home runs with his 3 hits or 3 at-bats. So it's one of the greatest games you'll ever see by an individual. And, we're looking at him in the likes of your Michael Jordans in terms of playoff performances, Tom Brady-esque. It's pretty amazing. So, yeah, do yourself a favour. If you haven't checked it out, go and have a look at a mini or something like that to get your head around what he's actually doing because it's phenomenal.
It is hard to wrap your head around a little bit. I have found it that way anyway, because we come from Australian roots with cricket, where you look at someone who we consider an all-rounder who can bat and bowl, and that's pretty common. There's one or two of them in any given cricket side. But it's such a different world in baseball. Batting is so specialised. You've got different positions in the order that you only bat. You've got different spots in the field that you only field. Pitches are a completely different breed. So to cross them over as a two-way athlete is extraordinary and extremely rare in itself, let alone to get to that level, let alone be good enough to get a 10-year, $700 million contract. A lot of which may have been pilfered by his interpreter, but that's another story. But
and not only that, Kurt, he got that contract without pitching a ball. He got that before he started pitching because he had to get some surgery or whatever. He wasn't quite right, so he was just hitting,
not
home
quite
runs.
Right, and $700 million.
And he got $700 million, and now he started pitching this year, and then he's done this in the playoffs. It's just ridiculous. It blows your mind.
Not paid enough. Not paid enough.
Nah.
But it was, if you're going to pull it out, you pull it out in playoffs. They won 4-0. They swept the Brewers, who had the best regular season record. So the Dodgers obviously won it last year against the Yankees. They would be the favourites now. They've just swept. And then the other series is the Blue Jays and the Mariners, which is 3-3. That's in Toronto tomorrow. So all of a sudden, I mean, the Dodgers are hot. They are hot. If Ohtani's doing that, if they're playing a team off of probably 4 days rest or maybe a week's rest by the time they get to the World Series. So that's huge. Have you got a team, Jake?
No, I don't. I just like watching. I love good contests. Like last year was awesome in the World Series with Yankees and Dodgers, so that's pretty cool. But I did get into it back in the day when the Diamondbacks. So you had, Kurt Schilling and Randy. The pitchers there for the Diamondbacks, they got me into it when they beat the Yankees that year. But I don't really have a specific team. I just like when it gets to playoffs, I just want to see a good game because usually they're cracking contests and the crowds are crazy. So it's just good to watch.
Awesome, Jake. Thanks for calling in, mate. We've had it all tonight. We've had baseball, Moto GP. I haven't had much cricket. We've had NFL. We've had all sorts. World Series. We'll find out tomorrow what the pairing is, who plays the Dodgers, whether it's the Mariners or the Blue Jays. I think it's in Toronto, so they'd be the favourites. Is the waiting room empty? Can we go through some?
We are officially empty for the moment.
That was what was that? That was a 54-minute onslaught of callers. I love it. If we've still got a little bit of time, if anybody wants to dial in, I know we've had probably the same amount as last week, which is cool. We were worried that maybe in episode 2 we wouldn't have quite as many, but
that's it.
Looking good. Now, I was talking before about world football. We had the result with Manchester United over Liverpool. That was huge. I did want to talk about, not EPL stuff. You can look up the EPL results and we'll do stuff like that on the Thursday show. But I was watching, Jimbo, multiple games of soccer last night. I was up until, like I said, 1:10 a.m. I finished with Tottenham in the Premier League. But I started at 9 a.m. I started in Italy, which was Como. I didn't actually go. I was just watching it from my couch. Como FC versus Juventus. And at the same time, on another screen, I was watching Dundee versus Celtic in the Scottish Premier League.
Jeepers.
Yeah, it was a big night.
There's a team called Dundee.
Well, there's a city called Dundee, and therefore a team. There's actually two teams called
There's
Dundee.
also a crocodile called Dundee.
Yes, there is. And there were two of those too. Maybe there's a third. Was there a third Crocodile Dundee?
Yes, there was.
Yeah. Have you ever watched Crocodile Dundee?
You mean the trilogy? Or
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the best trilogy known to man.
That and Lord of the Rings are the big trilogies.
What Matrix? Dundee was the trilogy of the century.
That's right. Yeah. Have you ever watched it? The first one?
First one, definitely.
Is it good? I don't think I've ever watched it.
I think it's one of those things. You watch it now, it may not hold up, but it holds up if you watched it young.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of those movies. It's got the nostalgia. This is funny to watch again because I remember watching it and laughing, but if you've never seen it, you're going to probably struggle through it.
Be honest, when the first time you saw him say, "That's not a knife, this is a knife," did you laugh?
That was a cracker as a kid.
Did you actually laugh?
100%. As a kid. 100%.
On your hoax.
Get in the chat. Tell me otherwise.
We'll have some vociferous defense of Paul Hogan and Crocodile Dundee 1, released in 1983. I don't know. What was I talking about?
Dundee and Scotland.
Oh, yeah,
watching
Dundee.
Soccer?
There's two teams called Dundee in the Scottish Premier League.
Wow, jeepers.
Dundee and Dundee United. Anyway, the reason I was watching both of those games, A, I love soccer, football. B, they were two underdog potential upsets, right? So Dundee were 11th out of 12. Celtic are the big boys. Celtic and Rangers are the big boys in Scotland. Dundee beat them 2-0, right? Yep. Huge result. Because for the first time in 40 years, it looks like, and I know it's only early, 7 games, it looks like one of Celtic or Rangers might not win it. Celtic have won the last 14 out of the last 15, and for the last 35 years, it's been Celtic or Rangers. Hearts of Midlothian, who are the team who are leading at the moment, have not won it since 1959-1960, Jimbo. And they're currently leading. So that's why Scottish football is exciting at the moment. Italian football is equally exciting. You got the big boys. You got AC Milan. You got Inter Milan. You got Roma, who are back to sort of their glory days as well. Well, not quite, but you got Napoli as well. You also have Juventus, who are a controversial and powerhouse club. They're struggling because they got beaten by little fellas, Como, yesterday. Now, Como, they've been around since 1907. The club name is Como 1907. 3 years ago, they got taken over by some Indonesian tobacco billionaires, right?
Sure.
And now, all of a sudden,
as you do,
they can afford some players. And they got some upstarts, and they won 2-0 yesterday. Now, the reason I loved it so much yesterday, it was football at its best because there was such a contrast between the countries, the games, the stadiums. I was watching a game in Como, which Lake Como, for those who that sounds familiar, where George Clooney and co live. I don't know why George Clooney is always the example of
he
who
is
lives
Lake Como.
He is Lake Como.
Yep.
But this is basically played on the fringes of Lake Como. There's a gap in the stadium where you can see the yachts in the Riverina at the back. That's how glamorous this place is. I had that on one screen. On the other screen, I have Dundee's home stadium in drizzly, depressing Scotland with like the Rex Hodgson stand or something. It's a half full stadium. Everyone's wearing black. Everyone's angry. And the game starts with a protest from the away supporters, Celtic, against their board. 4 minutes we had to wait whilst players from Celtic and Dundee and referees cleared off tennis balls and other paraphernalia off of the ground because the Celtic fans were throwing stuff on.
Jeez.
So you couldn't get two more contrasting experiences of world football. It was extraordinary to watch. That was my Sunday night.
Chafers. A little different to mine, just smashing peak hour leagues back to back.
Is Kabaddi on tonight?
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah?
Got Devunk Dalal smashing the lead.
What's that, sorry?
Devunk Dalal, he's top raider of the league.
Oh, top raider.
Yeah.
Is that like goals?
Sure.
How many raids has he got?
Well, you get points for within a raid, so you could get like 3 points in a raid. That'd be a banging raid.
What's a good game? How many raids do you need in Kabaddi?
Oh, you get like a good 24, 27, like up there. Be a good sport, good point count.
So like basketball.
Yeah, I'd say basketball numbers. You wouldn't.
Can you get a triple-double in Kabaddi?
No, but you can get a bonus point for getting 3 touches in one round.
Wow, that sounds almost problematic. That's too much. That's too much in one round. Any other Kabaddi updates before we go, Jimbo? I mean, it's been an hour and we've spent about 9 minutes of that on Kabaddi.
And that's about all I've got sports-wise is my new fascination with Kabaddi.
I know we've laughed at it, but you're actually
I mean, it started as a bit and it's going to end as I've got to watch the final now because it's literally we've jumped into this bit at the tail end of the season. It's
don't say we. I have had nothing to do with this. You just brought this up.
I'm dragging you along for the ride.
Right.
But yeah, like we're about to go into the semi-finals. So it's the playoffs essentially this week. So top 6 go through standard elimination playoff format.
Could we live watch the final?
Probably.
We could do a reaction.
True.
A watch along.
A watch along. Done.
Okay. I think the last thing I need to say, well, there's a couple of things before we go. NBA starts on Wednesday, which is huge. First couple of games of the season. We've got the Rockets at the champions, OKC. We've got the Warriors at the Lakers. No LeBron. LeBron James has an old man injury. Jimbo, do you know what he's got?
Turf toe.
No, sciatica.
Sciatica.
Yeah, which every time I feel like a pang down my
They get turf toe in NBA.
Sorry, that joke went by me. Yeah, good one. Jokes are always funniest when you have to remind people why they're funny.
When you have to highlight the fact that it was a joke.
I said turf toe.
That I was genuinely
There's no turf
curious.
in basketball.
Do they have turf toe? Oh, I guess
don't
not.
know.
Surely not.
I mean, they bend a lot on their toes, I guess. I don't know. Look it up. That'd be a cracking way to end the episode. Don't actually look that up. Are you looking that up?
Yeah.
All right. And then we've got, what else have we got? Oh, yes, the US GP. Did I mention the Formula One at the top of the show?
You did, yeah.
As in who won? No, I don't think I did. Max Verstappen won it. It's been a long night. I can't remember.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk about it off air, but it is a genuine 3-horse race now. Piastri's hold on the championship is very, very slight now. He's got Norris chomping at his heels, champing at the bit, chomping at his heels. I don't know. He's coming up close. And then you got Verstappen, who's ending on a heater. So 5 races to go in Formula One. Make sure you don't miss any of that. We've also got Champions League on Wednesday, so it's all happening. If you want to get it... Oh.
Just to clarify, turf toe is definitely a thing in basketball.
It's a sprain of the ligaments. Yeah.
Frequently affects basketball players.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
You've done it all, Jim.
Perfect way to end the show.
You've done it all. You've mentioned Pro Kabaddi League. You've answered our your own turf toe
basketball.
questions. You've fixed your camera about 7 times,
it.
and you've also led in about 7 listeners and done that expertly. Thank you very much to everybody who watched. We love this live stream. We're going to keep doing this probably for the next 50 years. So no rush, but hit subscribe when you can. That would be really helpful. We have been very pleased with the support so far. The messages, the people chatting on in the chat on the show, the people phoning in, the people coming up with ideas. It's been awesome. To get 200 last week was extraordinary. We want more this week, so tell your friends, hit subscribe, and we'll keep this going. We've got the Thursday show Behind the Bar at the Suburban Brew. And next week, who knows where it takes us. I've got so many notes on things to talk about that we never get to because you guys hijack the show in the best possible way. So keep coming up with that. We'll see you all next week.